Good morning. I got up early. I was going to go for a walk. It's 5 o'clock right now, and it's 93 degrees. So I figured, so I looked at the weather for tomorrow. It's going to be hotter. So I will do my duties inside instead of trying to figure out what time I'm going to walk. So with that in mind, I just gave myself a topic. Let's talk about time. Let time. Here we go. Hear that? Do you hear that? If we didn't have time, if we didn't pay attention to time, we wouldn't have no music. We wouldn't know when to hit the bass pedal or when to not. We wouldn't have a rhythm. No, we wouldn't. No, we wouldn't. Time is the most powerful thing in the universe, and nobody really seems to care, but yet it controls us. It controls us too every second of the day. Everything has a time stop. Everything has a time related to it. It controls everything. Take a minute and think about it. Everything has a time, and we as humans have taken that time and done and used it to all the extent that we could do it, because we cook our rice at a certain timing, and we wait till the water boils in a certain time, and then we adjust the flame so it will come about in a certain time. Well, that's true for every single thing in the universe. Think about it. It could actually drive you crazy. Yeah, crazy. let the time go by. And people say that we have lost that time. No, we haven't lost that time. Our life expectancy is probably the same. The same. We can go to the doctor said, you gotta take care of your heart, man. You only gonna have about 6 months to live. Well, that's based on time. It's also based on the time that you spend to take care of your body and the stressfulness that it caused by time. Everything relates to time. Your life is controlled by time, and you don't even stress over that. Or do you? You seem to stress over something that all of us have. We all have time, yes we do. We have time to pay the rent, we have time to go to work, we have time to make that telephone call about the loan we were supposed to have. It didn't show up on time, so the contractor's behind, and you're on time, but it's behind. Everything is either on time or behind, or behind. Spend some time and think about time. Spend some time and think about time. Spend some time and think about time, and you will agree with me that it's gotta be the most powerful thing on this earth, the most powerful thing on the universe. It controls every freaking thing that we have going on. Yes, it does. Okay. Yeah, if you think about time, everything's time. Everything. Everything. You set your clock for time. For what? For time for what? You know. Everybody knows. You know? It's that plant you got in the backyard. What time is that plant going to be growing? About what time is it going to be ready? And what time are we going to go do this or that? Everything is involved. When should we check the tires? How many times do we check the tire? When do we change the oil? When do we have breakfast? When do we have lunch? When do we have dinner? Because those times are happening around the other time. The other time is happening around the other time of the availability. And the availability is contingent to the time that you spent in the first place. If you were able to follow that, and if you didn't, just repeat this over and over and over again until you figure that out. I like to talk about time. It's, if you don't have anything to do, spend some time. You hear that? Spend some time. The time is already going by. You're already spending it. And people say, spend some time. But see, the time is already happening. It never stops. Never stops at all. Everything is controlled by time. We know what time to get up. We know what time to go to bed because there's a time stamp on something else. And something else is controlling what we're doing all the time, every day. We say it's time to go to bed. Well, what time is that? Why did we pick that time? Because it's contingent upon how much rest we want in consideration to when we have to be somewhere at a certain time in the morning. Everything is about time. It's amazing, isn't it? Everything. Everything. Guy walks into a 7-Eleven. He walks in on a robbery. Okay, what time has that got to be involved with anything? The thing is that guy, when you walk in, he's got your time. He's in control of your time. He has a weapon in his hand. He's controlling every second of your life at that point. He is. And then it goes on. The time is so involved with everything. It's like, most people use a gun. They don't use a doggone bow and arrow because the thing doesn't get there fast enough. Everything is about time. They jump out of an airplane. So when do they pull the ripcord? Is that time-based? No, it's elevation. Okay? So how's the elevation controlled? By time. By time. Everything has a time stamp on it. You're just saying the elevation doesn't have a time. What the heck are you talking about? Well, if it didn't have a time on it, then why do we have these different times, sections across the world? Because the sun is shining at a certain time, at a certain angle, at a certain time. It goes up, it goes down at a certain time, but it's changing. So that time is changing. And it's got a different angle depending on what the elevation is. Everything has got a time stamp on it. The rose you gave to your girlfriend, it had a time stamp on it. It started a long time ago from a seed. None of these things you think about as you go through your day, but everything is time. And guess when time stops? It never does. But when you pass away, you end your time. Everybody else's time still goes on, and on, and on, and on. So we pass on things to somebody else's time. If you're upset with your neighbor, and you're so upset with the neighbor, all you're doing is thinking about him, look how the time has given the neighbor power over you. Understand what I'm talking about? You can't get things done because you're too involved thinking about what he's doing. You're watching him and not taking care of what you have to do in time. And then you get mad at yourself and you don't know why. That's because you're behind on every single thing that you should have been doing, including giving your wife a kiss in the morning before she went to work. You were too busy looking out the window at the neighbor. You see what I'm talking about? You can carry on this discussion for the rest of time, and it's still not an understandable thing to most people. One country invades another country. It completely controls its timing. It changes its time. It changes its time when it has to jump and run and scream and yell and try and produce the milk for everybody to drink. It's impossible to control the time in that situation. But the time is being controlled by another force. But yet that force is controlled by time also, see? Just think about if you were able to control time. And that's why some people think they can, but they can't. And they're actually, if they're vigilant about trying to control somebody else's time, they've ruined their own time because they're too involved with the other. See how that works? So that tells you what and how you can evade something. Let them take your time. Let them be involved in your time. So what? Keep your time going right the way and the way it should be. That way your life is more centered and you're not being troubled by others, traffic, or anything. Because you're letting that be somebody else's time. And you just take care of yours. Keep it simple, man. See you tomorrow. Don't think too much about time. You'll forget to eat, even go to the bathroom. Okay.